years ago you cannot say you are a teacher because the reward of teachers is where? Who are those who drive bad cars? Who are those who wear poor trousers? Who are those who can't pay rent? I love to tell stories. As a child, I read lots and lots of stories. From Sleeping Beauty to African classics. And how many of you want to hear the story of how a boy transitioned from a lawyer to a teacher? Not from a teacher to a lawyer. Do I have hands? Anybody wants to hear my story? Where are the hands? Can I have some show of hands? Beautiful. Let's applaud yourself one more time. So I love to tell stories. And one of my best stories is the story of the man called Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus was a rich man. And he had a goal. Zacchaeus wanted to see a man called Jesus. But Zacchaeus had a problem. And what was that problem? He was a short man. And Zacchaeus knew that if he had to see Jesus, he must do something differently. Because the crowd was thronging around Jesus and he had the height disadvantage. And so what did Zacchaeus do? Zacchaeus climbed a tree. And from that point, he was able to see Jesus and also he gained traction. And Jesus walked up to him. In 2006, I was a foreign level law student at the University of Benin. By the way, my father died when I was 10, and I was raised by a single mom. My mom was 35, my father died. And my mom is a school teacher. She's still a school teacher at the University of Benin Staff School. And so, growing up for us was tough, was challenging. And when I told them I wanted to study law, everybody was excited because the savior of the family has come. Fast forward to 2009 rather, I was done with my call to bar. And I started having this very nudging belief that I will not practice law like every other person. If you know Benin City years ago, if the career choices were law, engineering, medicine, architecture, nobody want to talk accountancy, nobody want to talk about teaching. And it was unheard of to tell your parents that you have gained admission to study law. And then after your law program, in fact, my mom, here, look at my mom. My mom borrowed $1 million to send me to law school. Because in law school, you have to use your laptop. In law school, you don't have to cook in your hostel. You have to buy meals. I will have to buy books. So she took a loan of 1 million naira. So I was indebted to my mom. And if I wanted to teach, that reality to pay would not be there. So like Zacchaeus, I had limitations. Of course, Zacchaeus was short, I too am also not too tall, rather, right? Like Zacchaeus, my limitations were plenteous. One of such, I had low self-esteem, which came from my father. You know, father gives identity, and there was no father in the house, and so I thought I was not good enough. I thought things were not good. I would not amount to anything. In fact, being on this TEDx stage has proven that I can amount to something. Applaud me. So like Zacchaeus, I had limitations. And I knew inside of me there's greatness. I knew that there was a future that even if I cannot touch it, it was tangible. And the painful part that was only known to me, not to my mom. In fact, the day I told my mother I was going to teach, she cried. She told me, what will I tell my friends? When they say, what is your son doing now? I can't tell them that my son is a teacher. Years ago, somebody offered me a lecturing job in Uniben. And my mom asked me, can I have your resume? I said, no, mom, I want to teach. And my mother told me that the man told her, he said, your son no pass for school. Who passed for school? Who gets one for University of Benin with a high certificate? So how did I go on to find my true self? How did I go on to find the teacher in me that was crying for expression? Number one, I had a strong resolve. I read a story of the man called Napoleon Bonaparte, who went to war. And Napoleon took a very small army. When he got to the place, in fact, the nation was engulfed by large oceans and waters. When Napoleon got to the place, he had The city was tightly shut, and there was no way to leave except the wind. And so Napoleon told them, burn the boats. And the men set the boat on fire. And he told the men, there's only one way to live here alive. It's either we fight and win, or we die. As I told myself, I can't hold on to this wig and gown for too long. It's not the path to my progress. Let me even share this. In 2009, I was at the Court of Appeal, Enugu Division. I practiced for a short time while looking for money. And the then Justice Omage was talking to me, counsel. I was taking on my classroom. I almost went to the dock. You see, there's something in law we call contempt of court. When you cannot answer his lordship's question, you will go to the dock, and you can even clear grass, or cut grass rather, or go to jail because of contempt. So when I came out, in fact, it took senior, so it's a new wig. He was just called to Bass a few months ago to save me from that. And I told myself, this place is not for me. It's time to go to my natural habitat. And here I am. So, thank you. So I called my friend Kingsley Ara. And I told Kingsley, in my mother's house in Newotabo, I held the wig, I held the gown. I said, Kingsley, you want to practice? But I see practice is not for me. This is a wig and gown. Go and practice. And having given my meal ticket out, I was faced with just Ogaga, and Ogaga. But I had this strong resolve that inside of me lies greatness. I had this strong resolve that teaching would make sense. Number two, I had to reposition my mind. I told you I had a background where I grew up with low self-esteem. I felt I was never good enough. If you look, that's a meeting in my office where I conduct trainings for those persons you are seeing there are school CEOs in Mississippi. I do leadership training for schools. That's the picture of my office. I saw this 2009 when this never happened. Applaud me once again. So I had to see new pictures. I had to see new possibilities. Years ago in Benin City, no private school, I can tell you, have what we call management teams. You had the school owner, you had the principal, and of course you had a head teacher at best. I can tell you for free that because I started to see things differently, we have helped a number of schools, more than 10, 20, 30 schools, to put up management teams in their schools. And I have cases I'm still handling. Number three, I had to reevaluate my relationships. Your friends determine your future. Those are 5 of my friends. 3 weeks ago, I turned 40, rather a week ago, I turned 40. And one of my friends there was also Temiri. He's an associate professor in the University of Port Harcourt, who was my book launcher. And I told them there in the prison of Buhari campus that I will not practice law like you people. And my friends gave me the permission to go and live my dreams. So I had to reevaluate my friendship. I knew some persons were not going to be my friends anymore, and so I had to let them go. Not everybody would go with you to where you have to go to. Listen, friends, it is lonely at the top. You want to climb up, understand that at the top, it's lonely. I also went out for mentors. Thankfully, I had one of my foremost mentors, Mr. Abolion. He told me, Ogaga, if you will take this thing far, you need to go and join 50 Facebook groups, which I did. And today, I was just checking out my posts. Those days when I make posts, only my wife will like my post. My wife is here, by the way. Only my wife will like my post. But today, if I put gay, 200 likes. Number 4, what did I do differently? I had to pick up my dreams again. You see, one of the things that happens when you follow the crowd is that you will abandon your dreams. When you follow the bandwagon, you will have those things you won't believe in yourself, you drop it. So I had to pick up my dreams. I told myself my dreams are valid. I could curate a new education sector in Edo State. I will say for free that I hosted the first leadership conference for school prefects in private schools in Edo State in 2009 with over 300 students in attendance, sponsored by myself. Final words, friends. The ground is too crowded. The ground is too crowded. The crowd will stampede you. It's time to come up higher. As I wrap up this short conversation, if you want to be somebody, if you want to go somewhere, pay attention, leave the crowd, and come up higher. God bless your heart.